Hey, what is up? So for this video, I'm going to talk about the storyline of Lydia Rodarte-Quayle heading into season 6 of Better Call Saul. Now, unfortunately, it was confirmed a couple months ago that due to travel restrictions that were in place over the course of last year when they were filming season 6 of Better Call Saul that were in place for obvious reasons, unfortunately, Laura Frazier, the actor who portrays Lydia, was not able to reprise her role in season 6 of Better Call Saul and will thus not appear in the show's final season. So yeah, after reading this, I was like, this is some pretty bummer news in my opinion, because you definitely don't like to see the creators limited by any means whatsoever. And it stinks because irregardless of how big of a role Lydia was going to play in season 6 of Better Call Saul, due to the fact that she wasn't able to travel between Albuquerque and where she lived in Scotland, she wasn't able to be written into the series. Now, that being said, this kind of reminds me of the fact that Ed the Disappearer, the actor who plays him, Robert Forster, passed away. But just because the creators don't have the actor to portray his character, I did surmise in a past video that we could still see Robert Forster appear somehow next season. And in respect to Lydia, I guess even though she won't appear on screen next season, I suppose it is possible that we could hear other characters mention or discuss her characters in respect to certain storylines, specifically maybe Mike Ehrmantraut or Gus Fring discussing her in respect to Madrigal's role in the establishment of the Superlab next season, which was teased in the most recent teaser trailer for season 6 of Better Call Saul that I discussed in a previous video. We got the first shot that we've seen of the Superlab so far heading into season 6. And again, while we know from the plot of Breaking Bad that Madrigal owns the laundry as well as Gus Fring's Los Pollos Hermanos restaurants, as was displayed to us in season 4 of Breaking Bad in the episode entitled Crawl Space.
Industrial laundry I want to check out. It's not far. Just turn right here.
What laundry? What about it?
It's owned by this company. It's Madrigal Electromotive. It's this big German conglomerate right into everything. It turns out it's the same company that owns Fring's chicken joints.
And we definitely know that Lydia played a crucial role in respect to facilitating the clandestine behavior that would lead to Gus Fring being able to establish this Superlab in the basement of the industrial laundry.
Well, it could work.
Despite all of that, I suppose we're not going to see exactly her role in the storyline on screen next season. Now, of course, we didn't originally see Lydia Rodarte-Quayle in Breaking Bad until season 5 in the episode entitled Madrigal following Gus Fring's death. So her role in respect to Breaking Bad really doesn't pertain that strongly to the plot of Better Call Saul, because we only saw her work with Walter White, despite the fact we knew she knew Gus Fring very well based on her dialogue in the plot of Breaking Bad.
Who killed Gus?
Haven't I told you not to worry about that?
And in relation to this, one of the biggest disappointments I feel surrounding the fact we're not going to see Lydia next season is we're not going to be able to see more of the background and backstory surrounding her relationship with Mike Ehrmantraut. Because we remember from the plot of Breaking Bad, we definitely heard Mike say to Walt and Jesse that they didn't know Lydia as well as he did in season 5 of Breaking Bad in the episode entitled 51.
You don't know this woman like I do. I had a chance to deal with this before, and I gave her a pass. That's what I get for being sexist. Now, if you excuse me.
You can't just... Look, that's our precursor. We need her.
Kid, if we have to ramp down for a while, so be it. It beats working with a lunatic who's going to get us arrested or killed.
Implying that these two had a somewhat sordid history, in my opinion, in respect to their relationship when working for Gus Fring. This was, of course, displayed to us by the fact that Lydia wanted to be the one who was overtly prophylactic in killing all of the witnesses that could theoretically put her in jail.
You want me to kill every man on that list?
That's a leap? What, you just... No, I didn't say that. But if you think that'd be wise.
As opposed to Mike insisting that he did not want to do so, insisting that his men were well vetted and were not going to turn on them in prison. And yeah, with that in mind, that actually brings me to the last time we saw Mike and Lydia together in the plot of Better Call Saul, which was in season 4 of Better Call Saul in the episode entitled Breathe. We're following Mike being hired as a security consultant for Madrigal in the penultimate episode of season 3 of Better Call Saul entitled Fall. We then saw him, unbeknownst to Lydia, actually perform duties as a security consultant, despite the fact that this is just a paper transaction meant to pay him his own money. And irrespective of the specific details that are happening in this scene, this is really the only real scene we got to see between Mike Ehrmantraut and Lydia Rodarte-Quayle in the series of Better Call Saul, when they were both working together for Gus Fring. And unfortunately, this definitely seemed like more of a build-up to scene where this was more just about the logistics and the kind of small-time disagreements in respect to day-to-day operations, and there really wasn't this sort of grand blow-up or maybe even more contentious debate that we saw Lydia and Mike have in season 5 of Breaking Bad in the episode entitled Madrigal. So I was actually really hoping we could maybe see a little bit of that sort of tease to us and maybe a sort of stronger backstory of this contention between these two characters that prefaced their meeting for the first time in the plot of Breaking Bad. But like I said, due to the fact that Laura Frazier was not able to reprise her role, I guess we're not going to be able to see this event occur on screen next season. So yeah, unfortunately, it appears that Lydia is not going to have that big of an on-screen role in the plot of Better Call Saul. And like I said, in addition to the previously 2 mentioned scenes of her hiring Mike and then having this disagreement with him in season 4 of Better Call Saul, the only other 2 scenes we saw of her occurred in season 3 in the episode entitled Off Brand, where she and Gus scouted the industrial laundry as a potential location for the Superlab. Again, a very small role here for Lydia in this episode. And finally, the very last scene we saw of her, and will be the last scene we see of her on screen, it appears, in this series, occurred in season 5 of Better Call Saul in the episode entitled JMM, where Gus meets with her as well as Peter Schuler in Houston, Texas, in the hotel room to sort of ease Herr Schuler's reservations and fears surrounding his illegal role in the establishment of the Superlab. I discussed this scene in a little bit more detail in my review for this episode, so definitely go back and check that out if you want. So yeah, with all of that being said, it really sucks that Laura Frazier was unable to reprise her role due to travel restrictions that were in place during the filming of season 6. And yeah, like I said, while Lydia is not the biggest character in the plot of Better Call Saul, she is still nonetheless, in my humble opinion, one of the most complex and intriguing characters in the entire universe of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And it definitely would have been great to see much more of her next season than we've already seen so far through 5 entire seasons of Better Call Saul, especially to really decipher if she really did have a sort of sordid history with Mike Ehrmantraut that he seemed to allude to in the plot of Breaking Bad, or if he was just discussing her actions immediately following the death of Gus Fring, where she wanted to kill those 11 witnesses, in addition to Mike, to save her from arrest and prosecution. Additionally, also can't wait to see what role Madrigal, as well as maybe Lydia off-screen, will play in the establishment of the Superlab next season, a plot which seems quite a long way away from being concluded based on where we stand heading into season 6 of Better Call Saul, which takes place in the year 2004, as it should be reminded that the lab itself was not even finished being set up yet in the timeline of Breaking Bad until season 3, in the year 2009, half a decade from now in the future in the timeline of Better Call Saul. Though I suppose the construction of the structure itself may have been completed much sooner than that, depending on what is displayed to us in the 6th and final season of Better Call Saul. Can't wait to see what happens next season. Alright, that is all I really got for you on this one. Like I said, can't wait to review the entirety of Better Call Saul Season 6, which starts in less than 2 weeks from now. And as always, my name is Anton Jackson. Thank you again so much for watching this video.